pull this off?
9.56.
That's all?
That's it.
Really?
On a scale of 10.
Wayne just went 10,000.
Yeah, Wayne.
I think the thing is, Skip, the reason why I went 7 because I believe Aaron Rodgers is 2 times the player that you give him credit for. And he's going to show you on Sunday. All this talk, look, I understand that he wanted home field and Tom Brady took the Buccaneers and they've gotten farther than a lot of people anticipated, but I'm throwing all that out the window. I believe this season, I believe on Sunday at 2:05 Central Standard Time, Aaron Rodgers will show that he's the best quarterback. He's had the best season for a quarterback this year, and he'll put it to rest in that he'll get the credit that he deserves for doing what he's done thus far, and that's leading the Packers to the Super Bowl, and they'll face the Kansas City Chiefs. So I feel very comfortable. As long as the defense don't give up don't do anything dumb. We're going to get some pressure on him, but you got to neutralize the run. I believe the run would be the most important thing for the Buccaneers, not so much Tom Brady, because Tom is going to do Tom things. But if they can shut down the run, which I believe they will, I'm taking the Packers into 7.
How many times will Tom Brady get sacked?
2.
2 times?
2 times.
That won't be enough
2 times. 2 times.
Will he be pressured 6 or 8 times?
Yep, we'll knock him down.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, if you do that, you'll win the game. This offensive line has been flawless for 6 games. So suddenly it's going to become porous.
No, I didn't say porous, but you make it seem like so. How good has the Packer line been the last 6 games?
It lost its the best blocker in football, best pass blocker there is. David Bakhtiari is no more. That's going to rear its ugly head.
And they played a couple of games without him too. They played the last 2 games without him and didn't give up a sack.
Yeah, but there was no Aaron Donald to speak of. He was taking himself out of the game, which gave me 99
There was a Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
There was a Robert Quinn. And they shut him out.
Okay. So I hear anxiety in your voice because your worst nightmare would be Tom Brady at age 43 in the Super Bowl.
No, my worst nightmare would be Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against Buffalo. Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against Kansas City, that's sleep easy. But I don't even worry about that. Actually, Tom Brady being in the Super Bowl hasn't really crossed my mind because he's not going there. The buck stops here.
Well, I want to thank you as we wind down the show for all the motivation you have provided the alter ego I call Psycho Tom all year long, because you have written him off and written him off and written him off again. Actually, for 4 straight years on this show, you have said, that's it, he needs to go home and stay home.
Can I ask you a question? Have you provided Aaron Rodgers any motivation? Because you said Pro Football Focus said he was this ready quarterback and that he had a down year. And they felt Green Bay was so upset with Aaron Rodgers and they thought he was declining so much, they took a quarterback in the first round and they traded up to get him. Is that any motivation?
I didn't need to provide motivation. His team did by drafting up into the first round to take Jordan Love to replace him.
And you said you understood why, because Aaron Rodgers wasn't the same Aaron Rodgers before. That's what you said.
No, I'm just going by the numbers. They had declined for 4 straight years in completion percentage and QBR. All 4 straight years, but down. And he said, until this year, he bounced back and he wins comeback player of the year. I give you that.
And you said, he was down. So last year he was 26-4, 26 touchdowns, 4 picks. He said, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to go 48-5. I think you provided the motivation. I think the Packers, I think there's a lot of people that provided motivation for Aaron Rodgers.
Last time we saw Aaron in a championship game was at San Francisco, and he threw 2 picks and lost a fumble. He actually fumbled 3 times and lost 1.
Okay, well, hey.
Yeah. And I think we'll see more of the same.
I don't think so, Skip. I don't really see it like that.
Your confidence level is about a 6.
9.56.
Here. Yeah, and Wayne's at 10,000? Shoot, you're a little bit different there. But here's a question. Should 43-year-old Tom Brady really be expected to pass for more yards than Aaron Rodgers? I'll fill you in on some details next.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy, and I won't back down.
Yards with no touchdowns and an interception by Brian Urlacher.
That was a bad pick.
It was a bad pick. So I just want you to remember, that's the one he won. He barely survived Caleb Haney at Chicago. Then let me just hit on 2 other games. The 2014 game at Seattle, overtime loss. It lives in infamy in the state of Wisconsin because the media was all over Aaron Rodgers for that performance, quote unquote, because most of the experts in Wisconsin, the sports experts, will tell you that was his worst playoff game ever. He threw for a grand total of 178 yards in that game with 2 interceptions. A lot happened in that game. Obviously, there was an onside kick that was a disaster.
The Seattle ran a fake field goal and got a touchdown out of that.
But the point was, in the second half of that game, Aaron Rodgers was a grand total of 7 of 13 for 63 yards. Another game that he and his team led at halftime 16-0. They blew it in the second half, thanks in large part to Aaron's lack of performance, and they lost in overtime. And then, do I even need to bring up the fact that last year at San Francisco, you can say they were overmatched by San Francisco's running game, but Aaron was terrible in that game because he threw 2 interceptions and lost a fumble, and they lost 37-20.
Well, I mean, you see what happened. He start to press. It's just like with Tom Brady against the game when he played against New Orleans on that Sunday night. Okay. He started to press. You see him against Kansas City early in the game. He's starting to press when they get behind, and that's what quarterbacks do. You mentioned the key. The key for both teams is to protect the quarterback. I believe Brady needs a lot more protection than Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers' legs can get him out of harm's way. He can throw the ball on the move a lot better. I believe he's more capable of getting out of harm's way. Yep. But they need Fort Knox. They need the type of security that they had Wednesday for the inauguration for Tom Brady.
All right. Now, I'm going to remind everybody that I sat and watched. We all sat and watched Aaron Rodgers lose huge home playoff games to Eli and Colin Kaepernick. Remember those?
Yeah.
If we go back to that 15-1 Packer team against Eli's upstart Giants, 2011. Remember that?
Yes.
Aaron wasn't very good in that game because he lost a fumble and he got sacked 4 times, and they wound up losing 37-20 to Eli and the Giants at home. Yeah, so it's not like he's invincible at Lambeau in the playoffs.
Hold on, Skip. I know that's not the Eli team that beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
So they were pretty good.
Thanks to one slightly off-target throw to Wes Welker that he should have caught. Then we had the other game in 2013. It was a cold weather game, much colder than it's going to be this Sunday, but Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers went in there and did a number on Aaron Rodgers. By the way, against Eli and the Giants, he was sacked 4 times. He was sacked 4 more times by the Giants, the 49ers. And he threw for a grand total of 177 yards in that game. It's like, wait, is this really the 3-time MVP?
But you see the reoccurring theme. How many times in playoff games that Tom Brady has been sacked 3 or more times and he's gone on to win? You see the reoccurring theme? Pressure. And that's going to be the key in this game. Pressure.
Okay, so I'm going to remind everybody one more time. Aaron Rodgers 1-3 in championship games. He's finally getting one at home. I'll give you that. Tom Brady is 9-4 in championship games, and he has been as goatish as ever in championship games as he has been in Super Bowls, because I'm going to remind everybody that
most of them have been at home.
Yeah. Do you remember the Saxonville game? He's down 20-10 in the fourth quarter. He throws for 138 with 12 stitches in the palm of his throwing hand.
Yeah.
Brings him all the way back to win. Do you remember what happened at my homeboy? Remember that?
Yeah.
Overtime, he converts 3 straight 3rd and 10s on the road in the windy cold at Kansas City.
It should have never been that close because he was up 14-0 at one point. So I don't even know how.
By the way, both of those games happened 3 and 4 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't like ancient history like Aaron Rodgers' 10-year ago Super Bowl.
He got on his well, look here. All that ancient history and all those stats, it's nice to have. They're chronicle. But Sunday is a different ball game. Sunday is different. Aaron Rodgers has never faced Tom Brady in a championship game. Tom Brady has never faced Aaron Rodgers in a championship game. And we're going to discount what happened in early October on an 88-degree day in Tampa, Florida. Okay. Now this is for all the marbles.
Okay, so here we go. You are about to see Psycho Tom Brady's alter ego. He has been driven to get even with Bill Belichick. Right now, all the chips have been pushed to the middle of the table at Lambeau Field, the hallowed, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, with an opportunity to take the Succaneers, a team that was 7-9 last year, a team that led the NFL in turnovers and penalties, a team he has transformed into, wait a second, an NFC championship team in his first year in the middle of a pandemic with no offseason and no preseason games, a team that is suddenly plus 12 in turnover differential, which leads the whole league in turnover. He did it in 1 year. He installed the Patriot way in Tampa Bay.
But see, this is what I don't understand. When things that go well, you say Tom Brady did that with no offseason, no OTAs, no minicamp. But when things go bad, the first thing that you say, well, he didn't get an opportunity to throw to him. They didn't play, they didn't have minicamp. They didn't think straight. Because see what you do? When things go well, Tom Brady is great. He's historically great, which he is. But when things go bad, you bring up, well, he didn't have enough time. He's just getting to know these guys. So which is it?
So what went wrong? He's in the NFC Championship game. Help me out. What can you pick apart?
Skip, they lost 3 straight games, and you was out here whining and complaining.
I think they're now in the NFC Championship game, so he rose above all that. They had a December. It took time. He brought them to a boil right on schedule, just in time to go up to the frozen tundra. That defense I have not trusted all year until I look back and say, the defense rose and shone in 2 games on October 18th against Aaron Rodgers and then against Drew Brees and company down in New Orleans last Sunday. So now they're going to come into this game hot and with confidence that they're just fine against Aaron Rodgers. They're not intimidated at all.
So you think the Packers are going to be intimidated?
No, I don't. I think